Okay, lads, if you would read Triple I there about John, this is another gross wages one to have you practice of. And if you like, if I was you, I would actually pause it, try it out yourself, then press play on the video and see if your answers came out correct. Okay, so John is a tax credit at the €3,600. They're great, aren't they? That's a great thing to have. And then we're talking standard rate cut-off point, 30 grand. Standard income tax 20%. We know they match up together. The higher rate is 35%. So that's 35% remainder. And then they're telling us he's got this is how much income tax he pays for the year. So I'll put that in green. Okay. Find the gross income tax he paid at the standard rate. Okay, so that's very easy. The standard rate is 30 grand, and we're talking 20% of that. So you go 20% of the standard rate cut-off point, and that is 30,000. And that's going to be 6,000. That's the tax he pays on the standard rate. That's the answer to part I. Then the gross income tax he pays at the higher rate. Okay, so let's just see if so then lads, in II they're asking us to find the gross income tax he pays at the higher rate. So to get that, I was told in the question that John has €7,650 of tax to pay. I was told that his tax credits, we know they're a good thing, but lads, we're trying to go backwards here. Normally we take the tax credits off, don't we? We take them away. But here we have to add them because we need to get back to the gross tax. So the tax credits is 3,600. So I'm going to add on 3,600 and I get 11,250. That's the gross tax. Okay, so if that's the gross tax, I know the tax at the standard rate is 6,000. I'm going to take that away because what I want to know is the tax that he paid on the remainder of his income. So he pays 5,250 on the remainder of his income. And the question is, the gross income tax he pays at the higher rate, there we go. That's paid at the higher rate. Triple I, or I suppose lads, is part C. The amount of income that he earned in excess of 30,000. Okay, this is a little bit more tricky now. The amount of income he earned in excess of 30,000. So we're trying to find the remainder, aren't we? You have to be able to interpret what they're asking. I'm trying to find the remainder, not the gross salary, just in excess. So that's the remainder. Do you remember that? That was the remainder of tax. Remember, he had to pay at the higher rate. Well, now you have to ask yourself, what percentage of the remainder is this equivalent to? And it tells us it's equivalent to 35%, as that is the higher rate. Well, if I know that's equivalent to 35% of tax, then I need to find I can go and find a gross salary first of all. So bring it down to 1%, divide that by 35. Because like I always say, if you get something down to 1%, you can do all you want with it then. You can multiply by 100, the whole lot. Okay, so lads, then I found 100% by multiplying by 100. Now, what this represents the money he earns in excess of 30,000. This does not represent his gross salary. Because you think, sure, Miss, normally say you multiply by 100 goes back to the original. Remember, what we stemmed from. We stemmed from 5,250. This is the tax on the remainder of his income. And we were told in the question that is equivalent to 35% of the higher rate. So what I'm looking at, I am looking at the chunk of the remainder here. So I'm looking at 100% chunk of the remainder, nothing else. So that is your answer for the remainder of his income in excess of 30,000. Next question is, if I can get back to it. Find his gross salary for the year. We're just going to add there together then. So it's going to be, this is the last part, I suppose, is IV, I'm not sure. 15,000 plus 30,000 is 45,000. So what I'm doing is I'm adding the standard rate, STD rate, and I'm adding the remainder of the income. I'm going backwards. And this gives me my gross salary. Okay, lads, today I think we'll finally call it a day. We're just going to do the second part, and the last part we're going to do is the question on units of electricity and all that. I'm just trying to find it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we're going to look at double I. Now, here we go. If you want to read double I there for a minute, pause the video, but I'm just going to make a start. So again, what I suggest to you is try out the answer yourself and then press play on the video and compare your answer with mine. It's a great way to study. Okay, so how many units of electricity were used since the previous reading? So simple. It's not just a matter of subtracting. Easy out. So my 2 units are 824 units. Simple out. What is the cost of electricity used if each unit costs 20.5 cents? Sure, that's so simple too. We're just multiplying by 20.5. See, I'm not putting this tutorial up for these two because that's simple, right? It's what's coming next. That's what I want to make sure you can do. That's cent now, lads, cent, okay? A standing charge, and see the way now they're going to start talking about euros. I'd suggest putting that into euros. So there's 100 cent in a euro, isn't there? So that's going to be €168.92. That's the cost of the electricity before any charges go on. Watch out for the charges. Standing charges added and VAT is then charged. So 24.08 has been added. And then they say VAT is going to be charged. So again, I'm just going to add that on there. $193.06. Now that is the bill so far. Let's go back. A standing charge of, sorry, you can't see it now, hold on. A standing charge of 24.08 is added and VAT is then charged on the full amount. So we know the VAT is on that amount. If Anne's bill came to 233.53, calculate the rate at which VAT is charged. 233.53. So then all we're going to do is take away that, because I'm taking away my total bill and the bill so far, because I was told in the question that VAT is charged at this stage, at the 193.06 stage. So €40.47 is the VAT that's charged. And I think they ask us, what is the rate? Is it calculate the rate at which VAT is charged? Well then, to get the rate of VAT, what we would be saying is 40.47, that is my VAT, remember? All over 193.06. Remember, it's always over the original being the smaller value. Multiplied by 100, and that will give us our percentage rate of VAT. %20.96%. And I wonder, do they ask us, do they want it to the nearest cent? No, nothing like that. That is our rate of VAT.